Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, your home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. In today's video, we're going to be profiling a new company to the channel. The name is Zefiro Methane. We've got a lot to go through in today's video, but before we get into it, please take a second, smash a like button, guys. It's a big help to myself and the channel, specifically in getting this content out to other people like you who may find value. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join and let us know in the comments section below if you're currently holding shares of Zefiro, your thoughts on the methane sector overall, and your outlook for this space in 2025. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be profiling Zefiro Methane Corp. Trades on the NEO or the CBOE Canada under the ticker ZEFI or ZEFI. Also in the United States on the OTC exchange under the same ticker with an F, ZEFIF. Now, there's a lot going on at this company. We're going to talk about that in today's presentation. But before we get into it, a quick look at the charts here, you guys. This is as of close on Friday, September 20th. You can see they were up just shy of 1% or 1 cent on the day. This is in Canadian dollars to close out at $1.23. And if we pull up a 1 month chart on Zefiro, you can see trading relatively sideways really since the end of August in that $1.25 range. We saw a local low September 11th at $1.04 and a local high back at the end of August on the 28th at $1.30. So definitely some price action in this name, along with a number of recent press releases and exciting developments that we're going to talk about in today's presentation. With one of those actually just coming out on the 21st of August, talking about Zefiro Methane and their subsidiary completing Pennsylvania's first ever bipartisan infrastructure law-funded well remediation project. So this is the kind of exposure you get with Zefiro Methane, with the federal government now granting $4.7 billion US to remediate sites of potential methane leaks across the United States, marking a landmark accomplishment by Plants and Goodwin, further establishing Zefiro as a leading environmental remediation service provider. And again, we'll touch more on that in a second once we learn what this company is all about. Now, if we jump over to the corporate website, I'll leave this linked in the video description below as well. Again, you can see trading on the CBOE Canada under the ticker ZEFI and on the OTC in the United States, ZEFIF, with a goal to eliminate methane emissions, safeguard communities, and generate US carbon offsets. Now, as we continue to scroll down, you'll learn that methane is at least 25 times more potent than carbon. So when you talk about carbon emissions, you guys, methane takes that to another level. Zefiro is solving a major industry problem by partnering with upstream energy stakeholders, like we just saw in that last press release. And this is a great example of exactly what we were talking about. So the orphaned methane problem and Zefiro's solution to solving it, there's currently millions of potential orphaned methane sources spread across 26 states in the United States, at least as of 2020, in the form of defunct oil and gas wellheads. So as oil and gas companies drill for oil, they oftentimes will move locations. In many situations, they don't completely remediate, clean up, or naturalize these sites. And over time, these are slowly going to erode and leak these chemicals and emissions into our environment. Now, with that being said, Zefiro is leveraging decades of operational expertise. They're building a new toolkit to clean up air, land, and water, which has been impacted by these methane leaks. Not to mention an originator of high-quality US-based methane offsets, Zefiro aims to lead the expansion that will drive even more capital into solving the orphan methane problem. And here's actually a look from the corporate investment deck. I'll leave this linked in the video description below as well, showing the location of these various different orphan methane wells, with government funding currently only covering a small percentage of this overall problem. Now, to continue on with that theme, methane, which is broadly recognized as one of the worst emission sources for our climate, is anywhere from 25 to 84 times more potent than CO2 and makes up about 16% of global emissions. Atmospheric methane concentrate has doubled over the last 2 centuries, with 29% of US methane emissions actually coming from energy and industrial sources, like we just saw on that last slide. And obviously for anyone living in close proximity to these locations, there's direct negative health impacts, water and soil contamination, as we just saw with one of the focal points behind Zefiro, and impairment and risk to the actual property and property value in that location. So that's actually where Zefiro Methane enters the equation and provides investors with access to this rapidly growing global ESG market through three primary revenue streams. So first is going to be their methane testing, quantification, and monitoring to really identify and size the problem or situation. They also have asset retirement and methane abatement. And their third form of revenue generation is those carbon offsets that we just talked about on the prior slide. And worth noting, their management team includes former carbon credit team members from JP Morgan, strategically positioning Zefiro to take advantage of more than 4 million orphaned and abandoned oil wells in the United States and giving them the opportunity to plug and abate these methane sources. And this is exactly how they do that, through their integrated environmental service solution. So on the left, you can see Zefiro Environmental Services, including monoline services in support of methane abatement, which we just learned about, leading orphan methane data collection, driving highly focused tech innovation organically and through acquisition, and scaling effectively with 2 new acquisitions last year and a robust pipeline, which in turn enables new revenue streams and data streams to the organization. Now on the right side, you see the environmental market. So they're monetizing methane reduction, which we just learned about, issuing and selling methane abatement offsets, developing recurring quality distribution channels, and developing valuable market intelligence through new data streams to enable the scaled application of artificial intelligence in this space. And with that being said, they then lay out 5 key growth drivers, including scaling to meet 2 large market opportunities, including the orphan problem and the multi-billion-dollar offset market. They've got a unique and fully integrated model providing competitive advantages to Zefiro Methane, a very conducive regulatory environment providing a significant support for methane reduction, as evident in press releases like this $4.7 billion remediation commitment that we just saw in the intro. They've got a number of pre-sale agreements already in the pipeline to monetize these methane reduction efforts and credits, and an actionable M&A pipeline with those 2 acquisitions we saw last year and a number of additional near-term opportunities. So with that being said, you guys, Zefiro Methane is definitely one you may want to take a look at if you're looking for ESG, carbon credit, or methane exposure in your portfolio. They're in a market that's experiencing significant growth. We're seeing an increase in carbon prices across the globe, diversified portfolio with various different revenue streams, and finally a management team led by Talal Debs, who's the founder, chairman, and CEO of Zefiro Methane, bringing extensive experience in investment banking, commodities, lending, and risk management, not to mention founding that initial team at JP Morgan for their first carbon trading effort, along with holding roles in the same company within the reservoir engineering team and the oil price deck committee, with a PhD in foundations of physics from Cambridge and faculty roles at both Harvard and LSE. So a very experienced leader, long track record in the industry, and a great educational background, really surrounding himself by an all-star team that supports the vision behind Zefiro. So for those reasons, you guys, I'd be super curious in hearing your thoughts on this company, specifically if you're already holding shares. What are your thoughts on the carbon offset market overall and this ESG push we're seeing globally? If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, we'd love to have you as part of the community. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you here in our next video.